It was a scene that shocked Star Wars fans around the world. The iconic smuggler Han Solo, a fan favorite since the original trilogy, suddenly gunned down the bounty hunter Greedo in the infamous Mos Eisley Cantina. It was a pivotal moment in the Star Wars saga, forever changing the fate of the characters and the story that had captivated audience for generations. But what if things had turned out differently? What if Han Solo had been killed by Greedo in that fateful encounter? How would the story have unfolded, and what would have become of the beloved characters who we have come to know and love? The answer to these questions remains a tantalizing mystery, a tantalizing what-if scenario that has inspired countless fan theories and debates over the years. And yet, despite the endless speculation, we may never truly know the answer to this fascinating question. The only thing we can do is imagine the possibilities and wonder what might have been if fate had taken a different turn. Chewbacca had just arrived at the Millennium Falcon, the ship he had flown countless times with his best friend and partner in crime, Han Solo. As he stepped onto the landing platform, he could feel a sense of unease creeping up on him. Han was nowhere to be found, and Chewie couldn't shake the feeling that something was very wrong. He made his way inside the Falcon, where he found Luke Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi waiting for him. Chewbacca let out a growl, a sign of his worry and confusion. "Where's Han?" he asked, his voice gruff with concern. Before either of the Jedi could answer, a figure emerged from the shadows of the hangar bay. It was Greedo, the bounty hunter who had been hunting Han. Chewbacca's fur bristled as he glared at the alien, his mistrust and dislike for the hunter evident in his body language. Greedo sneered at Chewbacca. "Han won't be making this trip," he taunted. "He's got a debt to pay, and Jabba the Hutt doesn't take kindly to late payments." Chewbacca didn't need any more information. He knew what had happened. Han had gotten himself in too deep with the notorious crime lord, and now he was paying the price. Without a moment's hesitation, Chewbacca raised his bowcaster and fired. The blaster hit Greedo square in the chest, leaving a smoking hole where his body once was. The hunter fell to the ground, his laughter silenced forever. But before Chewbacca could even think about finding Han, the Empire arrived. Stormtroopers flooded into the hangar bay, their blasters firing in all directions. Chewbacca knew that he had to get out of there, and fast. He headed for the Falcon's cockpit. With blaster fire raining down on them, Chewbacca took off, leaving the Empire and their troubles behind. As the Falcon soared into the depths of space, Chewbacca couldn't help but feel a sense of loss. Han was gone, and he didn't know if he would ever see his friend again. But for now, he had to focus on staying alive. The future was uncertain, but one thing was for sure. Chewbacca and the Millennium Falcon were in for a wild ride. Despite the loss of Han Solo, Luke, Obi-Wan, and Chewbacca continue on their journey to deliver the stolen Death Star plans to the Rebel Alliance. They meet up with Princess Leia and embark on their mission to destroy the planet-destroying weapon, culminating in the epic battle that sees Luke destroy the Death Star with the help of Obi-Wan's force projection. It is only after this victory that the story takes a dramatic turn. With the Death Star destroyed, the Empire is on the hunt for the Rebel Alliance, and Luke and his companions must flee for their lives. Along the way, they encounter new allies and face new challenges, all while trying to stay one step ahead of the Empire's wrath. As the Rebel Alliance flees from the Empire, they make a desperate stop on the ice planet of Hoth. There, they try to regroup and plan their next move. But without Han Solo to help keep him warm, Luke Skywalker begins to succumb to the cold. Despite the best efforts of his comrades, Luke's body temperature drops dangerously low and he slips into a state of unconsciousness, and this would lead to his eventual death. As the rebels mourn the loss of Luke Skywalker, Leia Organa is devastated. Her heart is heavy with grief, but she knows that she cannot afford to give up hope. Leia retreats to her quarters to grieve in private. She is lost in her thoughts, trying to come to terms with the loss of her friend, when suddenly Obi-Wan Kenobi appears before her. Leia is startled, but is also comforted by his presence. Obi-Wan provides Leia with the reassurance that Luke has become one with the Force, and that his legacy will continue through her. He tells her that she is a Force-sensitive being, and that she is the last hope to stop Vader and the Empire. At first, Leia is hesitant. She feels like the rebellion needs her more than ever. She cannot just step away from her responsibilities, but Obi-Wan reminds her of the importance of her training and how it will make her even more effective in her role as a leader of the rebellion. With some convincing, Leia finally agrees to go to Dagobah to find Yoda and begin her training as a Jedi. She knows that it won't be an easy journey, but she also knows that it is necessary. As she makes her way to Dagobah, Leia reflects on the gravity of the situation. She is now the only hope for the Jedi to survive, and the fate of the galaxy rests on her shoulders. She takes comfort in the fact that Obi-Wan will be with her every step of the way, guiding her and giving her strength and courage she needs to face whatever lies ahead. The journey to Dagobah is long, but eventually Leia arrives on the planet where she'll begin her training. There, she meets Yoda and the two begin their work together. Leia is a quick learner, and she throws herself into her training with passion and dedication. But even as she trains, she cannot forget the war that rages on. She knows that the rebellion needs her, and she feels torn between her duties as a Jedi and her responsibilities as a leader. In the end, Leia will have to find a way to balance her two roles. She knows that the fate of the galaxy depends on her success, and she is more determined than ever to rise to the challenge. With the guidance of Obi-Wan and the teachings of Yoda, she is ready to face whatever comes her way, and to fight for the freedom of the galaxy. As Leia continues her Jedi training, Darth Vader, consumed by his desire to find and destroy the rebels, is hot on their trail. He has been doing extensive research on Luke Skywalker after discovering that he had a son. Vader is determined to uncover the truth about his child. Vader travels to Padme's grave, hoping to find answers about the birth of his child. He discovers that Padme had an implant to make it appear as if she was pregnant, which adds to the mystery surrounding Luke's survival. He continues to do his research and follows the trails that lead to the birthplace of his children. After a long and grueling search, Vader finally discovers a recording of the birth of his twins, Luke and Leia. Vader is filled with anger and resentment as he realizes that he has a daughter as well as a son. He had always had his suspicions of Leia, as there was this weird connection between them and the fact that she resembles Padme a great deal, but now he has the proof he needs to confirm his suspicions. He is outraged at everyone who had kept this from him, and his desire for revenge only grows stronger. To track down Leia, Vader turns to his most trusted bounty hunter, Boba Fett. Fett is known for his tracking skills and his ruthless efficiency, and Vader knows that he is the only one who could bring Leia to him. Fett sets off on his mission, determined to capture Leia at any cost. He uses all of his skills to track her down. Leia, unaware of the danger she is in, continues her Jedi training, growing stronger and more confident with each passing day. But Vader and Fett are closing in, and it is only a matter of time before they find her. Leia must be careful and stay on guard, for she knows that the fate of the galaxy rests on her shoulders. She will need all of the Jedi training and her strength to face the dangers that lie ahead, and to fight for the freedom of the galaxy.